Welcome to The Explainer. So, what if the most important portfolio you manage isn't actually your investments at all? What if it's your entire life? Today, we're going to dive into a philosophy that completely redefines what it means to be wealthy. Let's kick things off with a story that, well, it probably hits a little too close to home for a lot of us. You're trying to do everything right, you're consuming all this information, watching videos, reading articles, but every single thing you learn just sends you into a spin. It makes you second guess everything and constantly change course. And this isn't just some made-up story. This is the real high-anxiety experience of an investor just trying to find their way through all that noise. And that story resonates so deeply because it taps into this universal feeling, doesn't it? That constant pressure to do something, all driven by the fear of missing out. You feel like you're being bombarded with information, and all of it is basically telling you that whatever you're doing, it's wrong. So, what is really going on here? What's behind this anxious need to just constantly tinker with our plans? Well, that brings us right to our first big idea here, something we're calling the investor's impulse trap. See, there's this really powerful illusion that a lot of us fall for. The idea that just being active means we're making progress. It's like we're hardwired to think that to get better results, we have to be constantly doing something. The market dips and your gut just screams, sell. You hear a rumor about some hot new stock and that impulse to buy feels totally overwhelming. But this constant hamster wheel of activity, it's often a fatal flaw for an investor. We end up not making decisions based on a solid long-term philosophy. Instead, we're just reacting emotionally to the noise of the day. So the big question is, how in the world do you step off this wheel and finally break free from the trap? Well, the answer actually requires a pretty profound mental shift, and it's one that's really beautifully captured in an ancient philosophy. This concept, the unattached mind. Now, it might sound like it means not caring, but really, it's the exact opposite. The characters you see here, pronounced roughly sin u suo ju, literally suggest a mind without a place to dwell. It's about being so committed to your long-term plan that the day-to-day chaos of the market just doesn't faze you. You detach from the need for immediate results, and instead, you put your faith in the process you've carefully built. In this quote, it just perfectly captures the central paradox of investing, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. It's like trying to fall asleep. The harder you try, the more awake you feel. Well, the same thing is true in the market. The more you try to force a result through all that constant activity, the more likely you are to actually sabotage your own success. So here you can really see the two paths laid out side by side. On one hand, you've got the attached investor. Their emotions are basically on a leash held by the market's daily whims. It's a total roller coaster of fear and greed. But on the other hand, you have the unattached investor. They're more like they're floating down a calm, steady river, guided by their strategy, not by all the frantic noise in the news. When you actually manage to adopt this unattached mindset, something pretty incredible starts to happen. You stop staring at charts all day. And because you're not so zoomed in on the daily noise, you can finally zoom out and ask a much, much bigger question about what you're really trying to achieve with all this. And this is where the whole philosophy gets really deep. Think about how much time and energy we spend obsessing over asset allocation, getting that perfect 60-40 split or whatever it is. But what about how we allocate our most valuable, totally non-renewable resource? Yeah, I'm talking about our life. This brings us to this amazing core concept, life allocation. The characters you see, pronounced something like renshong paid shi, are all about arranging or deploying your life. It's a complete and total reframing of your goals. See, your financial plan, it's not the destination. It's just the vehicle. It's the engine that helps get you where you really want to go in life, whether that's spending more time with your family, focusing on your health, or just growing as a person.
So, if we were to actually visualize a life portfolio, what would that even look like? Well, it might be something like this. And take a look here. Notice how your financial strategy is just one single slice of the pie. Now, it's a very important slice for sure, but its entire purpose is to support and nourish all the other much bigger parts of your life, your relationships, your health, your own growth. The whole point is that your money should be working for your life, not the other way around.
Okay, so let's say we do all this. We manage to escape that investor's trap, we cultivate this unattached mind, and we recenter our entire focus on life allocation. What's the ultimate payoff? What's the real return on this whole new way of investing? What you see here is basically the roadmap. It's the path from financial anxiety to financial peace. It's a 4-step journey that can transform you from someone who's just reacting to all the market drama into the calm, proactive architect of your own well-lived life. And this brings us to the real end game here. The true measure of a successful financial strategy isn't really how high your account balance is, it's how low your anxiety level is. It's about achieving this state of, well, an sin quai la. These characters, they translate to something like a peaceful heart and happy spirit. The ultimate goal is to build a financial life that frees you up to actually live a truly rich life completely on your own terms. So, to wrap things up, I want to leave you with a simple but I think a really powerful question to think about. Take a look at your own financial plan. Is it actually building you wealth, or is it just building anxiety? Is it a source of peace for you, or is it a source of panic? Because honestly, the answer to that question might just change everything. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.